Okay, Rank and the Bankers and my team, because my team coincides with this, so I invite my team as well. So I just want to welcome you. We have a special guest speaker. If you didn't see that in the post, it's Nikki Johnson, accolades galore. Number one, she's my daughter. So yes, I wouldn't have a downline if I hadn't conceived her. So I'm very excited that she's here. She is a rock star coach. She has been a coach for about 2.5 years. She'll, I'm sure, go into her story, but she basically got to elite her first full year as a coach. She is in a Success Club 10 legend. She has had Success Club 10 every single month since she started, which is really hard to do. And let's see, she ended last year as number 19 in the entire company. So, one of the things I like to say about Nikki, and, I'm not saying it because I'm not like this, but she just leads with her heart. I ended up having the nicest child, and I don't know how that happened. But something, I guess maybe her dad did right, or maybe I did right and I just didn't realize it. But she leads with her heart, and she cares so much about her challengers and her coaches. And but one of the things that Nikki's always done is set goals with this business. And so that, we really talked about goal setting in today's posts, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more this week, but it's really, really important. And I talked about small, medium, and large goals. So Nikki's going to give us her tips and strategies to goal setting and how she's used that to advance her business. So with that, Nikki, ta-da! Oops, she's muted. Unmute. Okay. Oh, and she's in a new house, and she is pregnant. So yay!
Yeah, look at my awesome room.
That's what Catherine was congratulating her on.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this child is trying to prevent me from hitting my goals with me being sick every day. Anyways, thank you for the nice intro. You made me sound like the nicest person in the world. So welcome everybody. I'm so happy that you got on. It means that you're taking your business seriously, that you obviously want to hit your goals and set really awesome goals. So just a little bit about me. If you don't know my story, I kind of fell into this business by accident. I had been struggling. Well, I've struggled my whole life with my weight. And after I had my first two kids, I'd put on about 50 pounds of weight, and I struggled with postpartum depression, which didn't help me with my weight issues. And so I kind of just was really frustrated, and I decided to lose weight on my own. And I found this woman who was actually my boss at the time. She's really into fitness. She would actually be a really great coach, but she's not interested. And she taught me how to track my food, and she taught me about what workouts I should be doing, and HIIT workouts, which is high intensity interval training. So I was going on Pinterest and finding workouts, and I was tracking my food in the Lose It app. And I decided to start blogging about it to hold myself accountable. And the weight literally started just falling off when I started tracking my food, because that was my biggest problem, was I was overeating healthy foods and just thinking, oh, it's healthy. Why is the weight not coming off? But that was the big problem. So over the course of about 6 months, I started losing weight and blogging, and every month I would do an update, 6 months postpartum update, 7-month postpartum update, and I would share my blog on Facebook. So people started watching me. They were really curious about what I was doing. And in the meantime, my husband and I were going through layoffs and just really struggling with our money. And we had moved somewhere cheaper to live. And I had seen this flyer in the gym where we moved for people getting together to do T25. And I didn't know what that was, but I had gone from a Gold's gym where I was doing lots of fun classes to this rink-eating gym in a community which didn't have group classes. So that was the closest thing to a group class that I was going to get. And so I decided to go, even though it was 5:30 in the morning or something crazy like that, but I was on a mission. And so it was just like 4 people doing the DVD of T25. Nobody was even a coach. It was just like random people. And I would go every morning and do it. And I started blogging about T25. I had no idea about coaching. And this guy I went to high school with started like commenting on my pictures. And so he started showing up more in my newsfeed. So if you start commenting on people's pictures more, you'll start showing up in their newsfeed more. And so he posted something about how he was able to quit his graphic design job to become a Beachbody coach. And so I was kind of that, like, you know, that perked my interest. I know graphic designers make pretty good money. And I was just like, well, how did he do that? And I had friends that did like Stella and Dot and other network marketing companies. I just never thought that I could do that. I'm not like a salesperson. And I just thought I could never do that. And so he kept trying to get me on the phone to talk to me about it. I kept blowing him off and being like, oh, I have a headache, or just like totally not wanting to get on the phone with this guy. But I was still intrigued. And so finally I got on, he sent me like a video to watch, and I didn't even really watch it. And he just started talking to me, and he's like, you know, Nikki, you're doing everything a coach does, but you're not getting paid. And that was kind of like the magic words. And I asked him if I could coach without drinking Shakeology, because I had my own protein shake I was drinking. And he sent me some samples, because I'm really picky about what my protein drinks, and it has to taste good. So he sent me samples, and I liked it. So I decided to sign up, and I just asked my husband to give me like 90 days, and I couldn't even afford a challenge pack. So I signed up for $40. And because of the work that I had put in inadvertently with blogging and with my transformation and with talking about T25, I hit Success Club 16, my very first, I signed up October 12th. In that month of October, I hit Success Club 16. So I was able to, you know, even though I wasn't yet on Shakeology, I was able to share the benefits of it. And I think people just saw what I was showing them and my story and my transformation, and they believed in what I was doing. So with the money that I earned through those challenge packs, I then bought Shakeology. So I didn't buy Shakeology for about 2 weeks. So I always joke to my coach, like I owe him 2 Success Club points, because he never got Success Club points from me. So, but anyways, that's my story. And I like to also share my story, because I think a lot of people compare in this business, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But, you know, if you had signed up October 2013 like I did, but you didn't know my backstory, and you see like, oh, how did she hit Success Club 16 her first month, and how is she hitting Success Club 10 every single month, and how did she hit, you know, like 5-star elite, 6-star elite her first year? But because I've already had put in about 6 months of work that so many people have to put in when they sign up as a new, like maybe you don't have a transformation yet, maybe you signed up, you didn't have a huge warm market from a blog like I did. So it's like really important for us to not compare our journeys when we are coaches, because that's gonna, you know, be a detriment to you. So now we're gonna get into goal setting. So I have some notes here that I took about goal setting. If you were anything like me, you didn't really goal set before Beachbody. The only goals I ever really set were like in my mind, you know, one day I'm going to have a big house, and one day I'm going to have a BMW, or, you know, whatever those dreams that you have are, right? You never write them down. You just dream about them, or you think about them. Maybe you created a vision board one day, but you forgot about it. Or your only goals were made for you by your boss at your corporate job. Like every quarter I had to do these stupid goals, and they all revolved around my boss and her boss. And I didn't give 2 shits about those goals at all. So maybe that's like what your goal setting is. So when you get to Beachbody, you know, goal setting becomes fun. You make vision boards that you put up, and you can, and like that, you know that they can be real because you see other people achieving these goals. And I think that was the biggest driving force for me, was seeing people ahead of me and knowing where they came from and what they did to get there, and knowing that I could, if I did the same things that they did, then I could get there too. So goal setting is really, really important in this business. And I know my mom talked to you guys about setting small, medium, and large goals. And so those kind of break down into like daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly goals. God, I am like losing my breath so bad. This freaking kid. Anyways, so for example, like a daily goal would be how many invites are you going to send out today? Are you going to get your workout done today? Are you going to drink your shake today? Like really small goals that we can just check off our list to make us feel better. Those are really important. And then maybe weekly, I'm going to talk in a little bit about reverse engineering. So you're having weekly goals that you set that kind of break down your big goal, which would be your monthly goal. So hitting Success Club every month. And you might have other smaller monthly goals. Maybe you have an income goal every week or every month that you want to set, or maybe you have a volume goal. It's really important to set those kind of goals too. And then quarterly, we have a lot of quarterly bonuses when you start getting up in the ranks, and those become a really big push goal for a lot of people. I want to hit 2-star by the next quarter. I want to hit, 5-star by the next quarter or by summit. And then yearly goals, how do you want to end? Oh yeah, the leadership ladder would be a monthly goal, duh. Where you want to be on the leadership ladder. And those leadership ladder titles obviously break down into goals. So like week like volume, how many coaches you have hitting Success Club. So that can really help you decide what your goal should be. If you're kind of overwhelmed with like, what should I set my goals at? Like start at the leadership ladder and look at where you're at this month and where it's telling you to be next month. So you just log into your Coach Online office and you click on the leadership ladder tab, and then it'll show you where you were last month and then what you need to get to the next ladder. And that can be a really great place to start with your goals. And then yearly, where do you want to end the year? Do you have a goal to be an elite coach? If so, then you know that you have to be a 5-star, that you have to have 135 elite points, or is that right? 135? Okay. I should know that. And you have to hit certain, minimums in certain categories. So if that's your yearly goal, then you need to be focused on that as well. But make sure that you're writing these down and that you see them. When I'm not in the middle of a mess, have a whiteboard, and I will write, I put little boxes. They're empty boxes. So every month I clear my whiteboard and then I recreate it. And then I put my Success Club goal, and I put little empty boxes. So I usually put 20 empty boxes. And then when I get Success Club points, I put check marks in those boxes. And it's like a visual for me. So I know where I am if I'm on track to hit my goal. And then I also have a category for how many coaches I want to sign up. So I put my empty boxes and then I check them off. And then I also have a category for how many of my personally sponsored coaches I want to be hitting Success Club. And then as they hit Success Club, I check them off. So if you're a visual person, then make sure that you have those goals somewhere where you can see them every single day, where you're working towards them every single day, and that they're really important to you. And we all know, especially if you've read the Success Principles, how much visualization helps. And how, I just have visualized all my goals, and they've almost all of them have come to fruition. So it's really important that you're visualizing them and thinking of them every single day. When you're setting your goals, it's really important to use the SMART method, which is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So we all have these big goals of, achieving 15-star diamond or top 10 coach and all these things, but we want to make sure that we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves, and that if we miss our goals, we're not completely crushed, because goals are just something to push for, right? We're not like setting them, and then if we miss them, the world isn't ending. We're not stopping because we didn't hit our goal. So we want to make sure that you're really specific about what it is that you want to hit, when you want to hit it by. Make sure it's like, doable. So you're not like, oh, I'm going to hit diamond by next week, but you only have 2 coaches. I guess it is very possible, but like 1 week is probably pretty hard to do that. So make sure it's timely and realistic, and that you can achieve it. And then you can measure it. So the best way I like to do my goals is to reverse engineer them. So for example, my Success Club goal is always Success Club 10. And so that means that if I break that goal down, so like 10 sounds really like a big number. And so if you break it down, that means that I need to help at least 5 people. So that makes it a little bit less overwhelming, like, oh, okay. So then I need to help. If I want to hit my goal, I need to make sure that I'm helping at least like 2 to 3 people every single week. So if you have your goal, so say you want to hit diamond in about 10 weeks, That means that you need to sign a minimum of 1 coach every week. And if you did that, you would have 10 coaches. So you'd have more than enough. You'd have some padding. And then you would also, obviously have to help your coaches get to Emerald. But it really helps if you just break it down. So you look at your calendar and try to figure out, how many people do I need to help each week? Or how many people do I need to be talking to every day in order to help this many people a week in order to hit my monthly goal? I'm not the best at math, so it takes me a little bit longer to figure things out. But that has really helped me feel less overwhelmed. And I can look at my calendar, and if I'm freaking out about something, I can be like, oh, okay, well, really, I only need to help 2 more people to hit my goal. So I actually aim for higher than Success Club 10. Usually my goal is 15 to 20 because that gives me some cushion. But last month was the first month that I ended at 11, and it was really coming down to the wire, and I was really nervous because that's my non-negotiable. I always hit that goal no matter what. And so I was just, because I wasn't putting in the work that I needed to. And I can blame it all I want on moving and my pregnancy, but at the end of the day, those are excuses, and I have to be willing to overcome those excuses and put in the work. And when you are pushing for your goals, you need to be tracking, because we can have all these goals, and if we're not tracking our actions, then how do we know what's working and what's not working? So I don't know what trackers you guys have. There's the business activity tracker, which you can find in the Coach Online office. You can create your own tracker, which I've done, where I track everything from blog views, Facebook views on my like page, Instagram followers, volume, number of coaches added to my team. I have a really long tracker, and I track every week. So I used to do a daily tracker with the bat, how many people am I talking to, inviting, all that kind of stuff, but it got to be too much for me. I'm not a very Emerald personality, if you follow the gems, and it was becoming too stressful for me. So you just need to do what works for you, and don't worry about what works for other people. Just figure out what works for you. So when you're tracking your goals, it's really important so that you can look back and you can make adjustments and say, if you didn't hit your goal, well, then go back and look, well, how many coaches did I sign up? Or how many people was I talking to? Or how many messages did I send? Is that why I didn't hit my Success Club goal? I didn't send enough. I didn't talk to enough people. We all know this is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more people are going to say yes. So maybe if you're struggling to hit Success Club, then you need to start tracking your conversations. And maybe you need to go for no and just start keeping track of all your no's. Because the more no's you have, the more yeses you're going to get. And then those are going to be people to follow up with the following month. So really make sure that you are tracking what you're doing in order to achieve your goals. And then also the tracking is going to lead you to answer the question, do my actions match my goals? So if you set a really big goal, but then you're sitting back and not doing any of the actions that it takes to get to that goal, you should not be disappointed that you don't reach that goal. So if you're pushing for diamond, the biggest thing that you need to, think about is recruiting and talking to more people about the coach opportunity and how it can change their lives. And if you're not talking to enough people, or you're not talking to barely any people, and you're just waiting for people to come to you, then your actions aren't going to match your goal. That's just not realistic in this business. We have to really be out there and really pushing beyond our comfort zone. This business is all about getting uncomfortable. And that's why it's so important to do personal development every single day, because we are doing things that are really uncomfortable, things that we are so worried about, what other people think, or people saying no to us. And it's really important that we get out of our own heads and just share this business opportunity with people, because it's amazing. Or share the fitness programs and Shakeology, because they're amazing, and just really push as hard as we can to achieve the goals that we set. I see a lot of people who are a lot of talk and no action, and that's never going to help anybody. And so my last point is, I just talk really fast. I thought this was going to be filling up a long time. It's something that I brought up earlier, and this is something that I'm really passionate about. I think because I struggle with it so much. and which may be hard for you to believe when you hear all of the stats that my mom rattled off. But don't compare. Like comparison is going to kill you. It does nothing beneficial to your business. You just have to put your blinders on and run your own race the best that you can. And I know that this business, it's so easy to compare. We're all like on Facebook and we can all see what other people are doing and we can see people hitting goals and we're not hitting those goals. And it's really easy to get down on ourselves. But you have to remember, like, this is not a race. Like, everybody has the opportunity to be successful in this business. There's room for everybody at the top. If you just stick with this and if you just continue to do the vital behaviors, you will see success. It might not be as fast as you want it to be, but it's there and it will happen. I promise. So the only way you can lose is if you quit. So don't quit. Any questions?
So I wanted to open up for questions. So I have people muted. So if you have questions, you can either unmute yourself. Actually, I'll unmute everybody. Should I unmute everybody? Sometimes there's background noise. The background noise. Unmute all. No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, you should just tell people to type it or unmute if they have a question.
Yeah. So just, we can only unmute one at a time. So, because there's some background noise. So anybody have questions in the chat? Come on. I'll ask her one. So what was the biggest goal that you had to hit that you remember that was so hard?
The biggest goal that I had to hit was elite my first year, because I started the year as an emerald. So I had to go from emerald to 5-star in a year. And so that was my biggest goal that I set and that I worked my butt off for. The biggest goal that I've set, that I've had to set like 100 times, is 15-star. I keep having to reset that goal. But yeah, the elite one was the biggest one for sure.
Talk about, because I think this was a really important goal for you, was your diamond goal. Talk about that, because you had a date set and you were determined to do it on that date. And
yeah. So I kind of got, I went off to a really strong start with Success Club, but it was a lot harder for me to sign up coaches. I did get my best coaches, and who are still some of my best coaches for my challenge groups. But I was so impatient. It was hard for me to wait to cultivate those people. I just wanted people to sign up. And the first coach I signed up she quit like a couple months later. But I remember I just needed one more coach because I had the emeralds. I just needed one more coach, and I'm a ruby sapphire personality. And somebody, she challenged me. And she said, it was Katie Hefner. She's like, I think you can hit it by this week. And I was like, oh my gosh, you do? Okay, I'm going to do it. And so I remember I posted about my income, I was really scared. I did not want to do it at all because I was like, oh my gosh, you can't do this. But it worked. I signed a coach and I hit diamond that week. And
your income wasn't even that great. It was just like it was paying some of your bills, right? Or something.
Yeah, I think it was like I think I had made – I think it was a pretty significant income for me. I think I had made $1,200 the month before. And so it was like, how would you like an extra $1,200 a month? Okay. So I think that's what it was. And the person who signed up, that's what she wanted, grocery money. So, but it wasn't just that post. She'd been following me for a long time and was, watching me, and I posted a lot about the coach opportunity. I think that really helps is when you're like, dropping all of the opportunity posts in your daily Facebook life. So
I remember being there because for whatever reason, I was at your place that night, and I think it was near the deadline. And I remember how worried you were about doing that post. And
oh yeah, I was like freaking out. It was like, post and run, don't look. I don't know why. I guess now because I've been doing it so much, I don't care. But I remember being terrified. And it's almost like when you post your first like before and after, you're like, oh my God, oh. So you like just get numb to it. You get so used to people seeing you like half naked, and you get so
I just want the people in this group, because Diamond, we have 10 days left in this group. And it's those things that push yourself outside of your comfort zone, those activities that coaches before you like listen and pay attention to those things that can just kind of drive you over the end line. And, you know, income posts for recruitment is a really great thing to do. Any other ideas in terms of getting it over the end line, in terms of getting people to sign up as a coach, Nikki?
I would just like follow up with everybody who, you know, who said no, and just be really passionate about what the business can do for them. Like listen to them and figure out, like, is this something that can, you know, help them and help their, I mean, I get so many people like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford to sign up. I'm like, I couldn't effing afford to sign up either. And I did. And now look at me. Like, you know, you just have to sometimes like call them out on their BS, or like, you know, you can't afford it, but yet I just saw that you bought a new pair of shoes, or, you know, you just have to kind of like not be afraid to give people some truth bombs. And you know, it's a lot easier, I think, for me to do that when I'm in my cold market, because I don't know those people, but it's just, you know, if I feel like if you are really passionate about this and you know, share that with people, then it's a lot easier for them to want to join you and want to be on your team. And even just like the whole like culture of, you know, just the friendships that are cultivated and the team, like I just see so many coaches that just stay with this because they love this, like the sisterhood and the camaraderie. And it's not, you know, maybe it's not like a huge business for them, but they love it because of how they feel and how there's accountability and people that care about them. So maybe if the person, you know, just wants the discount, or just wants like friends, or just wants somewhere to go where they can be related to, like that's like another way to share. Like do screenshots of your challenge groups or of your team page, and just say how like welcoming everybody is and how nice everybody is, or share about how personal development's helped you, and just anything that you think just take anything that this business has done for your life and just share it unapologetically.
Yeah. And I know that Trina Gray even talked about that she would take people who were interested in the coaching opportunity, and she would Zoom call with them and take them on a little tour, share her screen and take them on a tour of her team page. So if like culture is important to people, then let them see it firsthand. You can even, some people invite their people onto their team page for a few days. So if you think that would be something that would help somebody. So those are ideas. Okay, we got some questions.
Okay, some of my quarterly goals. Most of my quarterly goals I set around the bonuses. So I'm, you know, trying to push for a certain rank so that I can hold. You have to hold to get the bonuses, you have to hold your rank for 6 weeks in every quarter. So that's what my goals are, like making sure that my girls are all strong. I actually dropped the very last week of this quarter. So I have to get it back so I can get my bonus, which really sucks. But that's part of the business, you know, you hit a goal and then it can fall again. So it's all, you know, up in the air, but most of my quarterly goals are around that. And then of course I'm trying to set goals based on who on my team wants to hit their quarterly goals. So who am I helping to get to 2-star? Who am I helping to get to 5-star, etc. So when you get a bigger team, like your goals kind of shift because you have a lot of people under you to help with their goals too, which has been a juggling act for me. Suggestions you have for getting your coaches to Emerald. For me, it's expected as soon as I get on a getting started right call with a coach, that's their first goal is to hit Success Club, and their next goal is to hit Emerald within their first 30 days. They need to sign up their spouse, and they need to sign up a friend or their mom or whatever. It's just really like, if they want this to be a business, then they have to hit that goal. It's like just expected. And then, you know, obviously I'm going to work with those people more, the people who show me that they want it. And those are the Emeralds. But also I have a push to Emerald group that I'll do I should do it once a month, but I don't, but I'm going to be doing it once a month. I'm not very organized. So, but that's that's the biggest thing, is just kind of showing them how easy it is. Like Emerald is easy. You can easily get to Emerald. If they don't want to sign up their spouse right away, then have them find a friend or their parent and then their spouse. And then I have all those, suggestions for you sign up your spouse with a challenge pack, you get 2 Success Club points, use their Shakeology as like samples to sell. And then you don't have to keep buying Shakeology under them. You can just run orders through their account that doesn't give you Success Club points, and that keeps them active. So
I have a question for you. Since you couldn't afford a challenge pack, I imagine you signed Ben up pretty quickly. So would you just use the income that you got from the selling of your challenge packs? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I signed him. So the funny thing is I thought when I signed up, I thought in order to hit Success Club, you had to sell a challenge pack, you had to sell 1 order of Shakeology HD, and you had to sign up a coach with the challenge pack. That's what I thought was Success Club. So I was like, I have to sign a coach. I have to sign a coach. So like he signed up because I thought, like I didn't know it could be like different ways. I was like, this is so hard. So it ended up working out, of course. But yeah, I signed him first, and then I signed a sorority sister. I tried to sign Dad, and then I tried to sign you, but you guys were like, whatever.
I bought a challenge pack.
I know.
But the coach thing was sketchy, so I didn't want to do that. All right. So what do you think Catherine's asking, what the best goals for them to set this week to get to Diamond?
So just don't sleep a lot. And well, I guess it depends on like what you need, and how hard are you willing to push. But the best goals would be to talk to as many people as you can, because that's just the only way that you're gonna and at the end of the day, if you don't hit your goal, at least you've talked to that many more people, and you have that many more people in your pipeline to follow up with and talk to, and the closer you will be to hitting that goal if you miss it. But yeah, talk to as many people as you can and share as much as you can on Facebook. Like, I know we think that we're regurgitating the same information over and over, but really, like, you do not know who sees your posts. Like, I posted about my pregnancy this past week. It had over 1,000 likes and over 100. I'm getting an echo.
You're not echoing to me.
Mute your line.
Oh, mute.
There. Yeah, that was weird. It must be something with you. Okay, so I had over 1,000 likes and over 150 comments, and I still have people like the days following being like, "Oh, I didn't know you were pregnant." Like people that, like Liz Steffies, or the people that I'm friends with, like that I talk to fairly frequently. It just goes to show you, like, you have no idea who is seeing your Facebook posts. So like, don't be afraid to keep sharing the same information. If people are tired of it, then they can hide you or unfollow you. Like, who cares about them? So like, don't be afraid to like be repetitive. That's what if when you see like Bonnie, like, if you see a lot of her posts, you probably like, oh, she posted about that already. Like, that's what she's good at. She just posts the same stuff, over and over. And that's how she attracts people, because new people are seeing her stuff all the time. Okay. How do you manage multiple social media avenues, blog, Facebook? Okay. I'm not very good. Not very good. I haven't blogged in like a couple months. But I'm getting back to blogging because that was like what started me, and it was just really a great place for me to connect to people. So that's something that I let fall off, and which is not good. I wasn't consistent. I wasn't giving it the attention that I needed. But I have my Facebook like page and I have my personal page, and it just takes some time management. So I like to, when I'm just like kind of randomly scrolling on Facebook, which is not very good, you shouldn't do it, but sometimes I do, I like to save things. So you like on Facebook, you can save things. So if I see like any articles related to my niche, like any funny mom things or like any recipes, like I save them. And so whenever I'm like, I don't know what to post on my like page, I go to my save section and I post there. I also do like a lot of, double posting on my personal and in my like page. And it takes a lot. It's kind of juggling. You have to really figure out where you want to focus on and then put your attention there. I don't put a lot of focus on my Instagram page. I do Snapchat, but it's not like very intentional. It's just kind of silly. And then YouTube is very sporadic. YouTube's more for like my team and my coaches. But it just has to be, you know, you just have to kind of figure it out, and it takes time. And you can also, ideally, what I would recommend, what I did for my clients when I was a social media manager, I would sit down every Sunday night and I would create a content calendar. So it would take me like 2 hours or more probably to curate a bunch of content, but I would have, you know, 3 to 4 posts a day that I could go into Facebook and schedule them, and then they would, you know, be scheduled. But I mean, it's important when you're running a like page that you have your face and you're there a lot. People connect to you. You're your brand. So sometimes it's better to be on the fly. So and just really have to figure out what works. And then lots of videos. Facebook likes videos. So okay, I have 9 coaches and 3 each have a coach. What is hard for me is they are the ones that need to get the coach for me to be diamond. So I would just, God, they only have 1 coach they only need 1 more coach. It's so frustrating. I would talk to them and ask them what's holding them back and see if they have, like, if they're hitting Success Club, then there is some disconnect between the challenge group and the sign up process. So if I have coaches that are hitting Success Club or like hitting really high Success Club, but they're struggling with recruiting, there's some disconnect in the challenge group. Like, it should be pretty easy for people to hit Success Club and then have a challenge group and sign up at least 1 coach from that challenge group. If they're not, then there's a disconnect. They need to like revamp their challenge group or like revamp like how they're talking to their challengers, because that is like the natural process for a coach. Those are the best coaches, are the ones that come from challenge groups. So I would like dig in. Also, like ask to see their conversations. Are they inviting? If they haven't signed up their spouse, like that needs to happen. And have them like have your goal, your diamond goal, be like a team goal. So like, this is not just for Anne Marie, this is for our team. If you have a team name, or like just talk about it as a team goal. You know, when you're pushing for like things like elite, it's so important to make it a team goal, because that's going to rally everybody and that's going to make everybody excited. So maybe you have an incentive, like if we all hit this goal by this date, you know, I'll send you this, or, you know, there's rules to that, of course, in the PMP. So it can't be more than $50, but you can incentivize your coaches. Okay. I've only been doing this for 3 months. I have my 8 coaches, but I don't feel I can post about income yet. I'm trying to figure out how to shift gears and help 2 of my coaches get 2 coaches. Okay. So your question is similar. Also, like, never underestimate the amount of $1. Like, you never know who out there is struggling to like just fill up their gas tank. That can be like 2 challenge packs that could change their life, you know? So just because you're not making like thousands of dollars, don't think that it's not gonna make a difference to somebody if they see it. Like, I think it's more relatable when you're making less income than like, you know, somebody who's making, you know, millions and millions. Like, that doesn't seem real. Like, when you're making, you know, a few extra $100 a month, that's like, you know, your power bill or your gas bill or your car payment. Like, those things are what changes people's lives, especially people who are in debt. It could be a credit card payment. For me, like, I could barely like buy groceries without feeling like I was gonna, you know, run out of money. So like, don't underestimate the income aspect of this opportunity. Are there restrictions on what you can say about being a Beachbody coach on a blog? No, you just can't make, you know, if you make any income claims, you have to use the disclaimer, but there's no restrictions. I don't think. I mean, if you want to go read the PMP, you can, but when you sign someone up for a challenge group, tell them about the discount and let them know it'd be cheaper for them. That way they get a coach too. Yeah, that's another option, is signing up somebody as a discount coach with a challenge pack, like immediately. Definitely. I don't really do that. So I don't have like a good script. I think, Mom, do you have a?
Well, the rule of thumb I do is I bring it up if they talk about that they can't afford Shakeology. So I bring that up then. And then if they have more than 10 pounds to lose, because I say you're going to want the discount because you're going to need to be on Shakeology longer than a month. So you can take advantage of that. So, but I don't push that too much. It depends on the scenario. And if all the stars align right with that person, then I'll bring it up in advance. Because I honestly feel like sometimes people who sign up as a coach have higher expectations and then they don't succeed as much. You'd think it'd be the reverse because they need to be accountable because they're coaches. But I find that a lot of people when they experience the product, then they're just so sold on it and they're much better coaches as a result of having gone through that kind of courtship with the products. That's just been my experience.
Also, discount coaches are really important. Obviously, it's good for them to have the discount, but you have to be careful with like building to diamond on a lot of discount coaches, because what's going to happen is eventually they're probably going to quit or go inactive, and it's going to be like you're in a boat with a bunch of holes and you're just plugging, and you want to have a solid foundation when you build a house. So thinking about, you want to attract business builders. So obviously if you're trying to hit a goal really soon, like you want to kind of sign up who you can, but just that's something to think about too down the line is when you're signing up coaches or when you're attracting coaches, like, you like attracts like, so what you're doing, what you're talking about is what's going to attract to you. So if you want some, I have this exercise that I have in my Emerald training, but it's like list the top 10 characteristics that you want in your ideal coach. And then, so, you just pick 10 adjectives and then rate yourself next to that 1 through 5, like on a scale of 1 through 5, how do you rate with that? And so there you go. You're never going to attract a coach that's better than you. So if you need to work on the things that you want, then that's something to think about.
All right.
Some of your favorite personal development. Okay. So You're a Badass is like my number one recommendation to everybody, especially new coaches. I love Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. Tribes by Seth Godin is really good. What else? Tony Robbins is always good. Like his YouTube videos are awesome. And then what's another one? I haven't read it yet, but I just bought it and I've heard really good things about it. But the 10X Rule. And then what's the other one? Oh, Simon Sinek. Why Leaders Eat Last. That's a good one too. And I like Girl Boss. I like fun. Like I don't really like John Maxwell books. They're kind of boring.
There's step one, number 2, number 3. He always has steps.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some people like that. Oh, what was another one?
I just finished The Go-Giver. It's a real easy read, and it's so amazing. It talks about giving before you receive, and it has a real life scenario. This guy, and he's in a sales job, and it's just it has a really great message. I loved it.
Also the oh crap, what was I going to say? Oh, the Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. That's a really good one for new coaches too. Oh, the chart. Oh, Liz is on here. I didn't know that. Yes.
All right. Yeah, if you're an Emerald, you might like John Maxwell. Good point. Yeah, there was for goal setting, I think I saw a list, and one was like push.com, or let's push the thing with Shalene.
The 30-day push. The only thing like that's so Corey wanted to do this with me. She's like, let's do the 30-day. Corey's my sister. Let's do the 30-day push, and we can like hold each other accountable, and we'll email every day. And so I was like, okay. So I signed up, and I'm on day 9. I haven't done a single day. Like I haven't heard from her at all. I'm like, I'm not going to do this by myself. Like I always pick the worst time to try it.
Okay. Goals. All right. Well, thank you. We won't keep you anymore. I know you have to go throw up.
I'm good now. I'm good right now.
Okay. That's in the morning too, right?
In the morning, yes. But if I'm distracted, it's okay. I'm just like getting so out of breath. I know it's because like the blood, there's like my body's not producing as much blood, something like that. I don't know. I was doing the maternity workout and Autumn was talking about how out of breath you get your first trimester.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know that. It's been so long.
You're welcome. I hope it helps. Everybody push to your goals. Push. I'm pushing too. I'm pushing.
Yes. All right. We'll see ya. Bye. Adios. What?